Hello, everybody. This is William del Pilar, and this is the Points on the Board clip, your NFL top 10 power rankings for week 18. And let's get going. At number 10, the Miami Dolphins, ranked number 4 last week, 11 and 5. They took a massive loss to the Baltimore Ravens, 56-19, but they have clinched a playoff spot. Look, it took the overrated and not mentally tough Cowboys to ride into town as a team with a record over 500, and the Dolphins beat them, and they finally got legitimacy. However, as the Bills did earlier, the Ravens proved they aren't quite elite, and they may not even be top tier. This game is a teachable moment. They have to break it down, parse it, and each player has to look at themselves in the mirror and do better. It's really simple as that at this point. They are who they are. The coaching staff must realize they can't keep a high tempo game going with a team that is better than they are. They need to slow it down. There are other high powered offenses, but they have beaten more than one team over 500. Look, statistics are great, and the fantasy sports industry really put that on the map, but you've got to take them in context. And it's just one part of the game and come to the proper conclusion of who that team is. The Dolphins have a lot of great statistical data, but it has to be taken in context in who they beat in and how they run up the scores in some games. All right. At number 9, the Philadelphia Eagles, number 6 last week, 11 and 5. They took a devastating loss to the Arizona Cardinals, 35-31, but they have clinched a playoff spot. Look, first, the Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon is a former defensive coordinator of the Eagles. Ironically, since he left, the Eagles defense has struggled. Then there's the fact that the Cardinals played hard for him. They've beaten the Cowboys, Steelers, and now Eagles. And right now in Philadelphia, it doesn't matter who's calling the defensive plays. They just can't get it together. And it may just be schemes, players, and a combination of all. But what's most important is that leadership is lacking. Right now, that defense can't stop the rush and has been terribly inconsistent with the passing attack. Their offense is also struggling, but it's the Eagles who we have our attention focused on. A player must take charge and bring some leadership into the locker room. The Eagles are struggling with confidence right now, but they also need a kick in the tush. But instead of somebody doing that and taking charge, we have wide receiver A.J. Brown whining and acting the role of diva. Get it together, people. Get some control in that locker room and man up. At number 8, the Los Angeles Rams, ranked number 10 last week. They are 9 and 7, and they beat up on the hapless New York Giants 26-25. Barely beat them, and they have surprisingly clinched a playoff spot. Look, the Rams weren't impressive this week, but they got the win. This game also proves, as their quarterback Matthew Stafford goes, this team goes. In the end, it didn't matter. They got the win and the playoff spot, and I've been wrong about this team most of the season. They are playing some damn good football, regardless if they hung on to beat a team that's 5-11. And a reminder again, as Stafford goes, so do the Rams. At number 7, the Kansas City Chiefs. They were number 8 last week, 10-6. They beat up on the Cincinnati Bengals in a hard-fought win, 35-7. They have clinched a playoff spot and their division. Let's not sugarcoat the win, because while deserving, they gave it all they had and still made the same mistakes they've been making all season. Dropping the ball. Chemistry is not there, or at the very least, they're not on the same page. Receivers, quarterback, everybody. They're screaming and yelling at each other. The emotions have become public, and it's ugly. You add turnovers and penalties, and this is a team in disarray. However, a win is a win. They're division champions again, but they're no longer an elite team. At number 6, the Dallas Cowboys. They were number 9 last week, 11 and 5. They beat the Detroit Lions 20-19 and have clinched a playoff spot. But did they really beat the Detroit Lions? Look, some people are saying they're still a joke because their undefeated record at home is now tainted. They still have it, but only because the referee chose to give them the win. It's really that simple. That's where we are at in today's NFL, people. Referees picking winners and losers. When not playing at home, the Cowboys are putrid, 3 and 5. And they also show they are not a dominant force at home. The Lions prove that, and teams will watch that film. Over the last few games, outside of their passing attack, they're mediocre in the run game, average in the secondary, and terrible in the rushing attack. And that's not what you want out of a supposedly elite club who believes they are deserving of a Super Bowl ring this season. At number 5, the Detroit Lions. They were number 5 last week, 11-5. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys 20-19, but they have clinched a playoff spot and their division. And for those wondering why Dallas is number 6 and Detroit is number 5, despite Dallas beating them, it's because the referees don't count in this man's playbook. I look at the data, statistics, the human element, and the games in the context they are played in. And the Lions proved to be the better team despite the loss. However, I keep saying this team is a year away, and I'm right. The fact the Lions had a head coach or have a head coach who let his emotions dictate bad decisions cost this team the win against the Cowboys. After the bad call, then the pass that was intercepted, but the penalty saved them. Just take the extra point and go into overtime. You can't beat the referees when they set their mind to affect the outcome of a game. And they have egos too. And even when they know it's a bad call, too many times they say, I don't care because my ego's going to do what's best for me versus what's right for the game. Regardless, a head coach like Dan Campbell needs to mature and grow too. He's not what you want out of he is what you want. But you've got to control the emotions, Mr. Campbell. That said, maybe if the pass rusher had wrapped his arms around quarterback Dak Prescott, we wouldn't have seen wide receiver CeeDee Lamb haul in a 92-yard touchdown and take it to the house. All righty. At number 4, the Cleveland Browns. Number 7 last week, 11-5. They got a win against the New York Jets, 37-20. They have clinched a playoff spot, and this team is on a roll right now. The Browns will continue to improve, because Joe Flacco just got to that team, and he is the hot hand right now, and they will keep riding it. Look, every throw is a repetition that creates greater chemistry with his wideouts. So expect the team to allow him to keep airing it out this coming week. The Browns posted 428 offensive yards with 301 coming in the passing game from a 38-year-old rusty quarterback. Granted, Super Bowl winner and Super Bowl MVP, he's still 38 and rusty. The Browns are beginning to peak at the right time, and they are the team you do not want to play right now. At number 3, the Buffalo Bills. They were number 3 last week, record 10-6. They beat their arch rival, the New England Patriots, 27-21, and they remain in the playoff hunt. I believe they may be the first team I've listed that has not clinched a playoff position, and yet they are number 3 in my rankings. People, the Bills have won 5 of the last 6 games. The rushing attack is still alive and well with 127 rushing yards as a team, and they remain committed to the run and creating a balanced offensive attack. It was not pretty, but a win is a win. And for those wondering about Allen and the balanced attack, look, if they need him to air it out, he can air it out, and he can be decisive, and he can put that team on its back. But this is another step towards the team and Allen and being mature and understanding what it takes to win. At number 2, the San Francisco 49ers, 12-4. They beat up the Washington Commanders. They clinch a playoff spot, division, and they have home field advantage. Look, quarterback Brock Purdy was on target, not only in the pocket, but while mobile. It's one reason he's so good in this offense. Being able to do all those things and hitting the player in stride, that's epitome of what the West Coast offense quarterback must do. They rolled up 408 offensive yards, including 184 on the ground. And that's important because Christian McCaffrey went out with a calf injury. In fact, they will rest him next week. But they've got to show they can play top-tier ball without their studs at time. And this week was a success. Granted, it was against the Washington Commanders. At number 1, the Baltimore Ravens, number 1 last week, 13-3. And they destroyed the Dolphins 56-19. They've clinched a playoff spot, division, and home field advantage. Are the Dolphins peaking at the right time right now? It would seem so. They destroyed a team that many people have ranked high in their own power rankings. They gashed the fence for 491 offensive yards, 331 passing, 160 rushing. It's safe to say this team is rolling. And there you have it. NFL Power Rankings, Week 18. This has been a Points on the Board clip. Catch us at Grumblings Media. I bid you adieu.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these 2 boxes.